Wow, folks. Wow. It has been a very long time. Our beloved New Jersey Devils met their fate 1 month ago today. 1 month ago, the New Jersey Devils were eliminated by the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 5 of the first round of the 2025 NHL Playoffs, and it has been quite a month. Quite a month. Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And it's that time of year, guys. Very slow kind of news cycle for the New Jersey Devils. Lots of what I would call clickbait type postings on social media, as well as articles, people speculating about pretty much any single player imaginable going to the Devils, whether it's Mitch Marner, guys like Bennett, Marchand, Ehlers. I mean, there's articles and posts about dozens of guys potentially going to the Devils. And most of them I do think are complete pipe dreams because of the Devils cap space. I'll get to that in a little bit, but obviously, as most of you are aware, the New Jersey Devils are not dealing with a ton of cap space. I think it's around $12 million heading into the summer frenzy season. And the overwhelming majority of that is going to go to young Lukehughes, waiting for his new contract. And I imagine at this juncture, it'll be between $8 and $9 million. Some 6-8 months ago, I predicted it would be between $7 and $8 million. I do think as the season went on, he kind of played himself into a slightly higher type of contract. And I do think it will probably settle somewhere between $8 and $9 million, hopefully closer to the $8 million than the $9 million. But that is going to be a large chunk of the Devils cap space. And assuming Tom Fitzgerald does not trade out some major salary, there's not a lot of money to go around. And we're going to still have to sign some bottom six guys to round out the roster. And I don't expect a ton of fireworks this offseason, despite what many of us want to see happen. So a lot of these big name guys being tossed around, I do think are largely pipe dreams for the most part. But I guess, when your team's been out for a month and we still have, 3 weeks to a month until the draft and free agency opens up, there's going to be a lot of these types of things floating around out there. I do find it kind of funny. I do think a lot of them are just completely absurd. And the most absurd one of all is obviously Mitch Marner. I mean, he's going to sign at the low end $12 million, and I think it could be, 13, a little over 13 potentially. And so from the money standpoint alone, I don't think Marner, there's any chance to come to the Devils. And then on the other side of it is, I don't think he would be a great fit for the Devils anyway. While the guy would make any team he goes to better, for that kind of money, I do think the Devils have some other types of ingredients they should spend the money on, and better allocate resources. But I do have a couple videos in the works that'll be coming out in the next week. I am working on some special summer features. The Jay Pandolfo interview is premiering this Sunday, June 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern for all you old school Devils fans that remember number 20, Jay Pandolfo. An under the radar kind of guy that played a big role in those two Stanley Cups in 2000 and 2003. What a guy. I really enjoyed my time talking to him. So that interview will be out Sunday at 5 p.m. And I have a ton of other interesting things in the works. I'm always cooking up some stuff. And so I'll be here, guys. I will be here as we get closer to free agency in the draft. But I am working on some videos regarding the cap and some ideas and a bunch of other stuff. And so, I can't stay away for too long, but this is the first live in nearly a month. We are now right on the doorstep of the Stanley Cup Finals, and it is looking like we are going to get a rematch of last year's final, a Stanley Cup Final for the ages that ultimately went 7 before Matthew Tkachuk and his Panthers team finally got it done, taking out Connor McDavid and the Oilers. And wow, I am looking forward to the rematch. And, for those of you watching the playoffs, the playoffs have been great for the most part, some really intense games. And for the anti-physicality crowd, I mean, I just don't know what you're waiting for to, reverse course. There's still time. No one's right 100% of the time. Like I've said for months and months, guys, as an adult thing to do is with a new wave of evidence and gameplay, you are allowed to change your mind. That is allowed in society. You can have a viewpoint and move off of it as things evolve. And to no one's surprise, the Stanley Cup playoffs are always a dogfight. They're always a war. And you're seeing it once again, guys. The physical, nasty teams, obviously with skill as well. And a lot of them have guys that are both skilled and nasty. Look no further than Sam Bennett. What a dog. But you see what it takes. And the Panthers are the gold standard in the National Hockey League, and I believe they have been for some time, heading to their third consecutive Stanley Cup final, 3 consecutive Eastern Conference champions for those guys. And Matthew Tkachuk, what a turnaround for the franchise. The day they got him, their franchise was forever changed. Going to their third final, looking to become back-to-back Cup champs. Not an easy feat to do. I do enjoy watching the Panthers. It is a little bittersweet because you watch a team like that and you're like, the Devils are just so far from playing like this. But, you know, I do think 2 or 3 more guys that kind of fit that mold could really kind of shake things up and really inject some new life into the DNA of the team and ultimately get us to raise our level to this warfare type hockey when it comes to the playoffs. But that remains to be seen. Like I said, I'm not expecting a ton in the summer, but, you know, not every acquisition has to be splashy, but just make some impactful moves. I think that's all I got in terms of my initial rambling. And now I will go to the comments to talk to all of you fine people. Oh, wow. A lot of, I didn't look at the chat at all. Traveling Devil says, hurry up, July 1st. What's going on? Traveling, how you doing? Amagi, whoa, woo. Amagi's just sending me photos of new outfits and apparel that he's been scooping up on the regular. Yeah, the playoffs have been exciting, Traveling. Hope Fitz is paying attention to his whole team. The light bulb turns on in his head. I hope so, but you guys know how I feel about that situation. Jem Card, what's up? Let's go Devils. Pump the Canes are gone. Hope we have a productive offseason. It was so beautiful to watch them be eliminated. I hate to be a hater, but they've owned us for so long. You guys know I hate the Hurricanes with a passion because of my upbringing, as I've talked about many times, living in northern New Jersey in close proximity with Ranger fans my entire life, and our long storied history with the Rangers. I could never hate a team as much as the Rangers, but the Hurricanes are right there. The Rangers are 1. The Hurricanes are 1A for me. And to see them eliminated on their home ice after blowing a 2-0 lead, poetic justice. Absolutely love it. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why the Hurricanes have been so awful in Eastern Conference Finals games. I think what did they lose? 15? I think they lost 15 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals games before they won the one. And it's kind of shocking. I mean, I just, you know, that type of record in the Eastern Conference Finals is crazy. What's going on? Eddie says, let's go Devs. Traveling Devil Timo is damn good in Worlds. Funny what he can do not playing on a half-ass team. You guys know how I feel about Timo. Absolutely love Timo, and hopefully we see him next season on the right wing, on Power Play 1 all season long. And I would love to see a, 65, 70-ish point season from Timo. But again, you guys know I am one of the biggest Timo fans around. I do consider myself the president of the Timomeier fan club, and I do appreciate all of the things he does that do not show up on the score sheet. We've talked about this ad nauseum. There's some people that are going to hate on Timo no matter what. I do think his contract obviously has a lot to do with that. And, as the cap continues to go up, his contract, I think it's like $8.8 million or whatever. As time goes on, you're going to see guys that you look at and you're like, that guy's not as valuable to a team as Timo. And they're going to be getting the same money or more with the cap escalating. And you heard it here first, guys. You're going to see some contracts this summer that are going to be mind-blowing because of this cap going up and the projections of where it's going to be in years from now. You're going to see guys get paid crazy money, and the Timo contract will just, it'll age pretty well, I believe, like a fine wine. Michael says, yo, what's going on, Michael? Devils, yo, let's go Devils. Epic Bite 91, yo, Ace back with the lives. Yeah, I got a little rusty, guys. I'm not going to lie. When you stay out of practice, it's been a month. I was kind of fussing around, hooking up the equipment, and I was like, wow, it's been a month, but it seems like even longer in some ways. And I was like, I gotta stay sharp. I gotta stay on my game. The lives will be ramping up as we get to the draft and free agency. Obviously, as there's more newsworthy things and things to talk about. It's been pretty slow as of late. I have put out a couple videos. If you haven't seen them, check them out on the channel. Like I said, Jay Pandolfo interview, long overdue. I had some issues with editing, and multi-camera editing is a complete nightmare. And like I've told you guys plenty of times before, your boy Ace is an old man, and some of this shit does not come super easy. But shout out to all of you who have been, rocking with me for quite a while now. And shout out to those of you that are newer viewers. We're just getting started here, guys. We are just getting started. Zach says, Stanley Cup rematch. I can already see it coming. Well, I mean, Zach, the Panthers are already in, and the Oilers are 1 win away. So, while I also see it coming, that's not exactly some sort of Nostradamus type prediction. Joseph Lanham, what's going on? He says, hey, Resting Guitar Face, sup, Ace? What's going on? Resting Guitar, Blackatron. How about them Hurricanes? Love to see it. Love to see it on their home ice after blowing the lead. Man, I didn't get to see the beginning part of the game. I was out. I was scoreboard watching on my phone, and I saw it 2-0 in the first with Aho getting 2 goals, who I absolutely hate. Just a little rat POS in my opinion. And I saw the 2 goals and I was like, oh my God, are they really going to string this thing out? And then bam, bam, Panthers tie it up, take the lead. Then they blow the lead towards the end of the game. And then Barkov with one of the most beautiful animalistic plays I've seen in quite some time. Guys, if you're watching the playoffs, when you watch a play like that, you're like, who on the Devils is doing that? And the answer is probably nobody. Probably nobody. That was a big boy hockey play by a stud center, the captain of the Florida Panthers, Sasha Barkov, behind the net. Guys draped all over him, bowling them off. Has the vision, has the skill, makes the play, wins the battle, gets the puck to Verhaeghe, and he rips it through the back of the net for the go-ahead goal. And lights out, baby. That's all she wrote. The Canes are done. Sayonara. Panthers are off to the Cup Finals. Natural Canopy, what's going on? Been too damn long. It's been a month. I've been in mourning a little bit of mourning. I'm not going to lie. Watching the playoffs, like I said, for some reason, it's hit me a little bit harder this year. And it's probably, I don't know. I can't exactly pinpoint the reason why. I always enjoy watching the playoffs, but it is always bittersweet when the Devils either don't make it or get knocked out. And I think it's just because after that dreadful 23-24 season where we missed the playoffs, you guys all know I was super pumped coming into the season. I thought Fitz killed it last summer. Markey and Pesci and Dylan and Nason and Cotter and Kovacevic. I was jacked up for the season, and the first few months of the season went kind of how I expected. We were looking like a lethal juggernaut, set an NHL record, 7 consecutive games, 20 shots or less allowed by the opponent. I mean, come on now. I think we were all excited at that Christmas break. It all fell apart, limped into the playoffs, and unfortunately, our daddy, the Hurricanes, bounced us again, and it was painful. And I have been pretty down in the dumps about it, and we still have, over 4 months until puck drop for, the real season. I guess preseason's, a little under 4 months away, but my God, it's painful. So painful. Southern Devils fan, what's going on? It was hard, but I went and bought myself a new Devils hat to make myself feel better. Nothing like retail therapy. Even when the Devils are bad or struggling, you guys know I'm an apparel and, memorabilia, whatever you want to call it. And I'm constantly buying Devil stuff. Probably should stop, but, I can't help myself. This is my hobby, guys. Resting Guitar Face, let's go Devils. Let's go Devils. 95, 2000, 2003. I've missed the lives. I've missed all of you, and your boy is back. I am back. A month off. Wow. Devils, the last time you did a live stream was Game 5. 1 month ago. Joseph says lots of clickbait going. Lots of clickbait. I mean, some of them are just insane. Like, I don't mind the ones that are like, even if they're like loosely based in reality, but like Mitch Marner, I mean, come on, guys. 12, 13 million bucks. Who would we trading away everybody to get Mitch Marner? You're talking about like, if we trade Holla and buy out Palat and trade Dougie and, all these things to get Mitch Marner, who again, great player. But for me, money better spent elsewhere. And I want a little more nastiness. I don't want another kind of skill finesse guy. I think it's redundant, but he's going to get paid. And it's very interesting to see where he's going to go. But look for the tax-free state somewhere to come into play here, I do believe. And I talked about this before. I'm going to probably do a whole video on it, kind of doing a deeper dive. But it for these guys getting top dollar, like, 12 million, even $10 million guys, playing in a state with no state income tax over the life of the contract, they save millions of dollars. This is a massive advantage. It's crazy. But like I said, I'm going to have a video coming out on that topic probably in the next week or two as well, because it is a very interesting thing that I think is kind of worth taking a deep dive into. What's going on, Maria? I thought we needed to celebrate Carolina going down. Thanks, Ace, for reading my mind. I will certainly dance on their grave. I mean, shit. They have owned us for so long. I have to be a hater and rejoice when they get knocked out. What's going on? Steven Engel says, yo, dudes, resting guitar face. Carolina goes down, and it could have happened to a shittier team. Devils, the Hurricanes, act like they're good. They got swept 4-1. They thought they were going to make a game 7. But I will say this, for as much as we're all celebrating them getting KO'd and all that, the reality is we would all trade their last decade for ours without even thinking about it, even though it has been heartbreak and a lot of just complete duds and failure in the conference finals. The reality is they've won a million more playoff games and rounds than we have. And so, you know, they still own us. They're still our daddy. I do hate them, but history speaks for itself. Our past decade or so is absolutely dreadful. Max says Dallas gets it done tonight, but they lose in 6. That's an interesting prediction, Max. Zach says 7.5. Please, Luke. I would love to see it, Zach. I can't see it, man. I just can't see it. I think even $8.5 million bucks, given, like I said, with the cap going up and where it's going, I think $8.5 million bucks would be Luke signing a team-friendly deal and leaving some money on the table, or as Fitzy likes to say, meat on the bone. And so 7.5 would be like, I'm going to make a proclamation. And I haven't done this. I've never done this, actually. And you guys all know how I feel about wearing jerseys of current players. I just simply do not do it, period. You got to hoist the cup like my boys behind me before I even contemplate putting your name on my back. And then I've also explained the whole age thing, which I think is kind of weird as well, that like I could be some of these guys' fathers almost. But if Luke signs for 7.5 or less somehow, again, I don't believe this is going to happen. But if he does sign for 7.5 or less on a long-term deal, I will order a Luke Hughes jersey that same day, because to me, that would signify the ultimate team player. Can't see it happening, but if it does, I will be ordering a number 43 jersey immediately. Death to Kong says, I have trouble believing Luke will make more than Jack. Well, the reality is, Death to Kong, is that the comps are there. I did a video on this. If you haven't seen it, check it out on the channel. The comps are there to support Luke making, even over $9 million. And again, what people have to realize is the cap is going up drastically. And that means salaries are going to follow suit. And guys like Luke are going to get paid. And so at this juncture, I would be shocked if he doesn't make more than Jack. I like I said, at this point, being optimistic, I think 8.5 would be a win for the Devils. And I could see it being more than that. But back to Zach's 7. If he does 7.5, I'm ordering a 43 jersey immediately. Zach says, hard to see Luke making more than Pesci. Why is that, Zach? He's a young stallion in the making. Michael Miranda, what's up? Dougie Hall and Palat go, and we can get a lot of caliber players. I mean, not really. That's like assuming there's no retention or you're buying out Palat and paying the penalty. Let's just say in some fantasy world, you trade all of them with no retention somehow, some way. It's not going to happen, but let's just play the game. That's what, 9. I think Hall makes like 3, 12. Yeah, 18 million bucks. But, we're talking about a scenario that's just simply, there's no road to that without retention. I do think there is a chance you find a home for Dougie without retention. But the rest of it, I mean, yeah, in some world, if Fitz did magic and got rid of all those guys, you have 18 million bucks. That could be a nice two or three players, depending on how high you're trying to reach for the caliber of player. But we'll see. Again, I'm not expecting tons of fireworks. I would love to be wrong, but there's a lot of kind of moving and shaking that would have to happen for us to get anyone making any sort of significant money. Stephen Engel, what's with the crowns and numbers 2 and 3 next to people's comments? I have no idea. I'm in a different program. I'm in my streaming program, so I can't see that. Is there some kind of weird... Oh, now let me see. I have no idea what the hell that is, guys. No idea whatsoever. I'm going to have to look into that later. It's nothing I did. Natural Canopy says Pando. Oh, Pando is the absolute man. Pando is the man. I had a great time talking to him. Like I'd mentioned previously, that interview comes out Sunday at 5 p.m., June 1st. Max, that's Ace. Some people are talking about a deferred contract for Luke. Thoughts? Like if Luke gets paid $2 million next year, $5 million the next 10, etc. I did see some chatter about that. But I don't think I'd have to look into the specifics. But I think even if you do that, doesn't the cap hit still average it out, or do you only take on the cap hit of the? I'm pretty sure it would average out. Now we're getting into like super specific nitty gritty contract stuff, and I'm not a contract lawyer, and I feel like these kind of rules and shit change all the time. So I will look into that. But I mean, it's an interesting play if that is an applicable kind of thing where you could kind of push money or cap dollars into another year. But in the end, while it may be beneficial in the short term, I think you're going to be right back kind of in a jam in the subsequent years anyway. And so I do think that is a little bit of a Band-Aid, whereas, you know, the heavy lifting has to be done. Some of these bigger contracts have to get off the books once and for all without doing creative accounting in the way of deferred contracts. But who knows? Maybe Fitz will get creative. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath for it, but it is an interesting concept to see if the Devils do approach it in that way. Traveling Devil Luke will get the same kind of contract Jack got, which was a gamble that they hope pays off. Steven Engel says, no way, Max. 8.6 times 8 for Luke. I mean, that would be a win, I think. I hope he doesn't go for $9 million plus, because I feel like the Devils would be handcuffed. And like I said, the comps do support it. And so how bad do you want to win? How bad do you want to leave some of that meat on the bone? How bad do you want your big brother Quinn to be a New Jersey Devil, young Luke? How bad do you want to see Quinn in New Jersey? Louie, what's going on? Whoa, an ace live. It's been a long time. Zach, Skinner will fold in the cup. Panthers go back-to-back. I'm calling it here. I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, you know, I'm rooting for the Oilers. I want to see Rico get one, man. Adam Henrique deserves a cup. He got there. He got to the finals last year with the Oilers. They fell short. Adam Henrique, franchise legend, fan favorite of the Devils, knocked out the Rangers in that beautiful Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. And I personally would love to see Adam Henrique win a cup. It's a shame it couldn't be here, but would love to see him get one. Evan says, just goes to show you how truly far the Devils are. Yeah, but I don't think it has to be. When you see the level of play, you're like, we're nowhere near that. But can 3 guys make the difference? And some of the existing guys stepping up and kind of playing to their potential or above what we expect. I do like our core as much as people like to knock it. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're never going to win. I do think if they have the right complementary pieces in place, that they could be a winning group. And I really like our defense. I really like Markey, but those correct pieces must be brought in, and they must be brought in now. Blackatron, thank you for the super, sir. Good to see you, Ace. Hope we can shed some of the dead weight in the offseason. Let's go Devils. Thank you very much, Blackatron. Appreciate it. I hope we can too. The first domino has fallen. Tomas Tatar has gone to Switzerland. One of the bottom 6 guys, obviously, that will not be back. And hopefully some of the dead weight comes in the way of guys making more money, but it's tough. It's tough. There's a lot of no trades, a lot of no moves. You know, and I do unfortunately think that we will see a summer where the main kind of news thing you see is Luke Hughes getting paid, and then a bunch of kind of league minimum type guys rounding out the bottom 6. Like I said, unless significant salary players are moved out, that is all you are going to see. But thanks a lot, Blackatron. Appreciate it. Louis says, let's do Mercer for Rossi 1 for 1. I'm all set on Rossi. I don't want, it's another small, undersized guy. Like, come on, guys. I mean, I've been beating the drum forever here, but do you guys want to see another small guy? I absolutely do not. And if you're watching the playoffs, you would understand why. Playoffs are war. Net front battles, one-on-one battles, scrums, guys getting down and dirty in the corners, and we need some warriors. Give me a couple more Nasons and Cotters. Zach says Barkov is a juggernaut. Absolutely. What a stud. Absolute stud. Max says Rossi wants $7 million as a bottom 6 guy. Kind of crazy. Again, with the cap going up, I don't think it is that crazy. But for me, I just do not want to allocate the resources to him. I think we have money, you know, the money would be better spent elsewhere. Steven says we should go after Morgan Geekie. I would like a guy like that. That's a little sandpaper. I'm sure he's going to probably get paid way more than people realize as well. Louis, I'm bitter because the Devils moved on from Boquist and Greer. Now they're going to win a cup. I mean, it happens. It does happen. Max says I like Geekie. We just don't have much. And Zach says and Vanacek. Max, Ace, I think we should take a flyer on Jonathan Toews. I was going to make a video about this as well. I probably still will. But the long and the short of it is, of course you would take a flyer on Jonathan Toews. The reality is, obviously he's been off for all these years dealing with, his sickness or whatever. And especially if he's not looking for a ton of money, there's going to be a million teams looking to get him. And the reality is he's not going to pick the Devils. Why would he? Why would he? Are we as close to winning a cup as some of the other teams that will be reaching out? And the answer is hell no. And especially if he's going to sign like league minimum, there'll be a million teams trying to get him. He'd be a great third line center on a lot of teams, including cup contenders. And unfortunately, I just don't see him picking the Devils. That's the reality, but I'll probably make a video on that too. Steven says, give a team a third-round pick to get the $9 million off our payroll. Devils, I wonder if we're still going to get Quinn. I think we're definitely getting Quinn. I don't know that the trade will happen, but, in just over 2 years from now, July 1st, 2027, when he hits the market as an unrestricted free agent, I do believe he signs with the Devils. Louis Wild moved him there. I think he's got top 6 potential. He's going to break out like Partaker did. I think Rossi has top 6 potential as well, but again, he's not getting me excited. He's not doing it for me. I would love to see the Devils make a play for a big hulking type center. We have not had a big boy down the middle in forever, and find me some Jason Arnott types, man. For all you longtime Devils fans, remember Jason Arnott? What a beast. Find a guy like that. Find me a nice American or Canadian kid. Big boy, strong ox down the middle, please. Max says, I don't think Quinn comes this year. It may take till he's a free agent. Steven, take Dougie off our roster. He's trash. I have to disagree there. I think Dougie does get a lot of hate. And I think a lot of people are going to miss him when he's gone. He creates a lot. And, I'll always have some level of respect and love for Dougie Hamilton. But I understand the $9 million is why he's a constant target. Brendan plays. I missed this. What's going on, Brendan? I miss my NJ Devils in our post-game therapy. I do too. It's been a long month. Zach, they don't play their best hockey through the playoffs, but the regular season. I don't know who that's in reference to. I'm kind of jumping all over here. Oh wow, I got crushed behind here, and I'm talking too much on every comment. Greg, Canes 1-15 in conference finals in the last 4 Eastern championships. Glad they got smoked. So am I, and it's almost unfathomable that any team could go 1-15 over that time span in a conference finals. It's crazy. Max says, gives Toews a $1 million contract. He's ready to play again. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. Steven, age is just a number, baby. You don't think he's going to be better than whoever we ultimately sign at that type of figure? I'll take my chance with a legend veteran like Toews any day. Not to mention the intangibles that he brings. Leadership in the locker room. Mentoring some of these young guys. He's been there. Olympics, the world. He's been everywhere. He's been a winner everywhere. Anytime you have a chance to get a guy like Jonathan Toews, you should run, not walk. But again, I don't think he's picking us, but I would love to see it happen. Zach, Canes are gassed by the Eastern Conference Finals. Canes 1-15 has to be a trivia answer somewhere. Stanley, what's going on? Just in case anyone's forgotten, Boozeface is still an imbecile and asleep behind the wheel. Prepare for more pain. Oh boy, I certainly hope not. Meadowlander, when the Canes take the ice next season, it'll be their 8th season under Brindamore with early exits. This is hard. We aren't even close to the Canes. Overhaul needed. Yeah, but they made it to conference finals, my man. We haven't been to a conference final in 13 years. What's going on, James? Cheers to you. Oh, boy, SST, how you doing? Another decade of doom has begun for the Devils. The most negative Devils fan I've ever met. Natural Cannabis, SST, go fly a kite. Max, who the hell summoned the Doom Monger? Slurp, beware, Rooney is back. Oh, man, I forget what game it was, but how nice is it when Rooney got rocked in the face with a stick or a puck? I can't remember, but I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed watching him agonize because he's done nothing but inflict agony on our beloved New Jersey Devils. Jared, what's going on? Hey, Ace, what's up, bud? Good to see you. Been missing the live chats. Have you heard that the Devils may be interested in Owen Tippett? Curious what you would think of a move like that. What line pair? How are they getting Tippett? Hold on, let me see what he makes. This is just going to be my answer to kind of everybody is like, where is the money coming from? His cap hit is 6.2 mil. I can't see it. I can't see it. But there's a million guys out there that would, slot nicely into the Devils lineup somewhere because there is so much to improve on. He's a guy I would take, but again, if in some world they had the cap space to do it, I would probably say, can you use that 6.2 better elsewhere? Whether that's, two players at $3 million or that 6.2 million towards an $8 million guy. But there's no shortage of guys that would represent an upgrade for this team. That's the reality. Lots of guys would be an upgrade. Dean, was nice seeing the Canes go out like a fart in the wind. More Barkov praise from Max. SST, our golden boy Jack would never make that play like Barkov did. Listen, that's a big boy play. And my buddy Steve the Maniac, shout out to Steve the Maniac. We were texting during the game, and he was like, that is a Yager type play. And it really is. Jaromir Yager, what an absolute legend. For those of you that are around my age, maybe even a little younger or obviously older, Yager was just such a bull on the puck. And it was impossible to knock him off of it. Just played a heavy game, super skilled. And that was reminiscent of a Jaromir Yager type play. Rapid Blue is the new black says Jack isn't comparable to Barkov. Nico is. If I'm being honest, I don't think Nico's making that play either, just because it was just a display of physical domination. Nico may have been put on his ass there. Love Nico, but that's a big boy play Barkov made there. Collect records is going on. I absolutely love Tkachuk going after that little butt nut Aho. We need the attitude on this team. Let's go Devils. You guys know I love the Tkachuk boys. Absolutely love the Tkachuk boys, and watching him ragdoll Aho was a thing of beauty. You need guys like that to win, and I don't know what it's going to take for people to realize. You need that element in your lineup, and you need more than one guy like that. Fitz, I do think, made a step in the right direction last summer when he got Nason and Cotter, but we need more of it. We have a couple nasty guys on the blue line. Obviously Dilly, love me some Dylan. He's an absolute throwback. Johnny Kovacevic has a little bit of that mean streak as well, but we need it up front, and we need it in the top six. I want to see, it doesn't have to be the most skilled guy on the planet, but you need a guy with skill and nastiness, aside from timomeier, in the top six. Would love to see it happen. Again, my expectations, super low, but would love to see it. Stickfig says you collect Devils memorabilia. Ace, didn't know you'd be into that. I know, shocker, right? Louis says that SST, your anti-Hughes crap is so tiring, dude. Oh, he's committed to it. He will never, ever deviate. Devils Holic got a nicohischier Stadium Series plaque pick from Fanatics. Very nice. Very nice. Max says, I want a new third jersey, please. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I am over that jersey. I hated it when it first came out. I'm not going to say I ever liked it, but I grew to hate it less. I do think with a couple tweaks and additions to the jersey, it had a lot of potential, but I never liked it at all, to be honest. And I'm hoping they bring some kind of, something real nice for the next time there's a third jersey. I'm not sure if it will be this season or not. The league shifted from Adidas to Fanatics for the official on-ice jerseys worn by the players, and I could have sworn that I heard Fanatics was kind of putting a freeze on new designs for a couple of years. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would love to see another exciting third jersey for sure. Jay Snow, look at these playoffs. Marner's a non-factor. I agree. I have no interest in Marner. Devils Holic, haven't heard anything about the Stadium Series rumors coming back to MetLife next year. Wonder if the rumor got shot down. I didn't hear that. I did hear some rumblings that there was a chance the Devils would be in a Winter Classic, which would be phenomenal. I mean, that's the granddaddy of all of them. That is the premier outdoor game. The Stadium Series is close, but it's not quite the hoopla that the Winter Classic is. Would love to see the Devils neither one, though. I wouldn't complain. Snell says fully healthy, we would have bounced the Panthers. I don't know about that, but I think we would have given them a better fight than the Canes, which is crazy to sit here and think about. But we played them very well this year. Obviously, I think it was in November. We went down to Sunrise and beat them twice in a row on their rink. But the Panthers are what they are for a reason. They really elevate their game when it comes to the playoffs, and they are a battle-tested warfare team, and you see them dial it up when the playoffs come. They just have a hunger and desire to win, and they will go through fire to make it happen. And hopefully Fitz and some of the boys take notice. You need to elevate your game to several levels when it comes to the playoffs. And it's not a fluke that they're going to the third Stanley Cup final in a row. Not at all. Brendan plays, I really want Marchand or Bennett. Yeah. Those are the types of guys that I've been talking about forever. Dogs. Can't see it. But, wow. Rapid Blues and New Blacks is not happening. Unfortunately, I don't think so either. Jay Snow, the Devils need a top 6 winger and a 3C badly. Completely agree. They're not going to be real contenders till that's addressed. They need to find some money, though. Brendan plays, although honestly, I don't expect much from Fitz. Ideally, we get a 3C, multiple bottom sixers, and hopefully 1-2 top 6 players. That obviously won't happen. That would require trading a ton of guys to get that money, Brendan. That's the reality. Cap strapped. Jay Snow, Fitz has to make trades and make the tough decisions on players. It's time for Dougie, Halla, and Palat to go. I mean, yeah, you see GMs make tough decisions, especially when it comes to getting your team to that next level. And let's be perfectly blunt here. We have regressed since that 22-23 season. That should have signified the turnaround, and we've been in neutral at best or backing up in reverse from that season. And again, yeah, I hate to be negative, but years are ticking off of the core. Again, Bratter and Nico, 8 years in the league. They've won a single playoff round. I just don't know how anyone could be okay with that. It's crazy. Louis says at SST, if you stayed banned, I never would have thought about you again. You bring it on yourself. Well, just for clarification, I never unbanned him. He just keeps making new names. But hopefully he can behave himself. Stanley Fitzgerald needs to be shake-handed. Michael asks, yo, Ace, good to see you on the live chat. Hit the like for this guy. Yeah, appreciate that, Michael. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Michael says Quinn is going to be the lowest paid Hughes boy. That's just a matter of the timing of when the contract was signed, because in 2 years from now, when Quinn is a free agent, he will become the highest paid Hughes, probably by far. I don't even want to think about what kind of money he would command in 2 years from now, but it could be something crazy. Max says Luke needs a 2-3 year team friendly deal, and then he gets the bank. I think a bridge would be suicide, Max, because then you're talking about, and I don't think he's going to do it anyway, but you're talking about easily on a long-term deal in 2 or 3 years from now, you're talking about 10, 11 million bucks. Easy peasy. And so I think the Devils are best served to bite the bullet now and get him locked up. I don't want to see, if I see a bridge, I'll be furious. Rapid Blue is the new black. I think 7.5 to 8 a year is fair for Luke if he wants to play with Quinn. I imagine Quinn will get 10, 12 million a year. That would be super team friendly, because in 2 years from now, Quinn's market value is probably going to be 14 million bucks. Easy. Stick Figs, 20 subs away from 7K. You've come so far in 2 seasons. Yeah, appreciate that. We're slowly climbing up. Hopefully, good things to come. Appreciate all of you guys who have been here for a while and the newbies. Jason, no, Dougie and Halla are definitely tradable. I agree. Michael, buying Palat out only gains a team $2.5 million this season. Exactly. And that's why for all the people obsessing over the Palat contract sucks. Let's be real. It does. He does bring some elements to the game for the team. But the reality is, yeah, Cody Glass is going to make probably more than $2.5 million this year. And so when you look at it, you're like, yeah, it's tempting to buy out Palat, but with the penalty, who are you replacing him with? And so I do believe that Palat is going to be here next year. And I like Pally. I don't like his contract, but it is what it is. Not every contract is going to be a winner, and that was a dud by Fitz. I mean, it happens. For all the things I will complain about with Fitz and kill him for, I try to be somewhat fair, and I'm not going to kill him for the Palat one. I'm really not. I get what he was going for, and, this one aged horribly, but it is what it is. Collect records. The numbers next to names are the top contributors in the comments for this stream, I think. Oh, they're always wheeling out new features. I can't keep up with this shit, guys. I'm an old man. That's what I thought, Michael. So the deferred money, what is the benefit of it? I don't know. That's what I thought. So what is the benefit of these deferred things? Jay Snow, if we just get bottom 6 players, realistically, they're still not a cup contender. I would tell you, I hate to be this guy, but if they're the right type of bottom 6 guys, some of the whatever holdovers we have from the bottom 6 from last season can elevate their game. And obviously the biggest thing is staying healthy, which I'm never going to count on. Injuries happen to every team, but we have really been plagued. I do think they could be a contender because we were deep. We showed signs during the regular season and we limped into the playoffs. Still, we're in almost every game except for that game 1 with the Canes. And so I will delusionally believe that while I'm not going to say we're like a favorite like we were heading into last season, because in the summer, by Vegas odds, we were in like the top 4, I believe, maybe even 3 on some betting sites in terms of favorites to win the cup. When you have a primetime marquee in net, when he's playing at that Vezina caliber level that we saw from him for a lot of this season, and a stingy defense, that could bring you a long way. And so I'm going to have to hold out hope because that's all we got, guys. That is all we got. Stickfig says, youngster here, the crowns and numbers are part of the YouTube live stream leaderboard. Don't know if it's based on chat or view time. Interesting. All right, I got to skip around here. Zach says, these live streams make you realize how far away we are from October. It's so bad. Jay Snow, need to add size to this forward group. I've been talking about that for years. Absolute years. Michael, team toughness is real. Meier could be a physical beast with some scritty players. Obviously, a combo of the skill and grit. We need the scritty. We need the scritty. Max says, ace in your mind, who are the guys you definitely don't bring back? Bass, Dowling, etc. If I'm being honest, I just want a completely fresh slate. Dowling was serviceable in his role. He was never meant to be, a full majority of the season and playoff guy for us. And, when you got him centering the third line, and it's just, I'm sorry, but I think the team needs to go in another direction. And I would like to see as many new players as possible in that bottom 6. But I will say, as some of you are aware, there's advanced analytics that show Nate Bastian in a very favorable light because of his defensive play, and I will not be surprised if he's brought back. Not in the slightest. Traveling Devil says, Jay Snow will have number 1 during the game chat next season for the duration if the Devils are mad. Number 1 crown. Stickfix says, did you ever think Vitek Vanacek would be lifting a cup before Nicohischier? It doesn't surprise me because he's not playing. So, if he gets thrust into a good team like he did, it is what it is. Steven Engel says, anyone see the other day that Jim Rutherford said deals are already in place for when July 1st comes around? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I've always kind of suspected that. Max, I would still love to have Ryan O'Reilly on our team. So would I. I would too, but there's a million guys I would love to have. Michael Ace, what about a flyer on Van Riemsdyk? I mean, we probably could do worse, but we also probably could do better. I want to see some young, hungry, big guys that have a little skill, at least, in the bottom 6. Give me young, big, hungry. Jay Snow, we need a real center to take pressure off Nico. Jeter Tokers is a center who can grow a playoff beard. You guys are brutal. Traveling Devil, I was watching Holik videos yesterday. Talk about a horse down the middle. Phil says, bring me a Bobby Holik. My God. Love the Bobby Holik is, you don't see too many guys like him anymore. An absolute ox. Could do a little bit of everything. Traveling Devil, I was so wrong about Marchand during the trade deadline. I would have loved Marchand, but, I think the Bruins kind of did him a favor, and he had to say. Will be interesting to see if Marchand just wants to stay in Florida because they're built to win for a while, or if he wants to return to Boston. That wouldn't shock me either. Jason, Taves, his last year was like 60-something percent in the dot. Yeah, face-off wizardry. We could use some face-off wins for sure. Struggled mightily when Nico was out. Phil Painter, Quinn is spending a lot of time in New York as of late. I mean, yeah, it's the offseason. He's a hockey player. His brothers are in the area. It makes sense. Max says Quinn is just getting used to East Coast life from when he comes over. Phil, are any of our prospects ready to take the leap? Well, it's all but a certainty you're going to see Gritsuk. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hamanaho gets a look at some point or even starts the season. I would say it's probably more likely he starts in Utica, but it wouldn't shock me if he made the team out of camp in the preseason. And maybe another dark horse would be like a LaChance. He's another guy that I think definitely will be in Utica, but you never know. Depending on what other pieces we grab in free agency or via trade, I think the team will definitely be looking at guys on entry-level deals that could contribute. SST, ace on 1st of July. On paper, the Devils are better than the 22-23 team. We're going to win the cup. You're an idiot. I never said we're going to win the cup. I did say on paper I thought we were better than the 22-23 team. And I gave all my reasons why I thought that. The defense, way better on paper. Markey was an upgrade on paper. The forward group I thought was at worst the same. And so, we had injuries. We had a general manager that didn't do anything at the deadline, and we bombed. But, I never said we're going to win the cup. I said I would love to see it. Would love to see it. Stickfigs Ace, why do you want to invite violence on this team? We could have finesse-skilled, bubble-blowing bubble babies running up the score. The playoffs should be a commercial for what it takes to win, for the people that don't understand. Jace, no, the thing with Florida is their top guys have skill and grit. Yeah. Barkov has a little grittiness to his game, but Bennett is an absolute dog. Marchand, I mean, you just look, and that's what you need to win. It's nothing new. It's been the game of hockey for forever. Donnell, let me ask you, do you see any team beating the Panthers in the finals, Oilers or Stars? I mean, the Panthers look like they're on a mission, but I think Edmonton's a very good team as well. I would not be shocked if first of all, I'd be shocked if the Stars somehow came back and beat the Oilers. That's the first thing. But I do think we're going to see another great series between the Oilers and Panthers. Love to see a rematch of two teams that looking to bring home a cup. Stephen Engel, 4th line, Cotter, Glass, Nason, 3rd line, Haminaho, to be determined, Gritsuk. I don't think we could afford Glass, Steven. Glass is going to be like a $2.5 to $3 million guy. I can't see it happening. And I think Nason has to be a 3rd liner. I think he's, wasted on a 4th line. I think he's got to be on the 3rd line. But we're going to see how this top 6 looks. Preseason is going to be very interesting. Alexander the Greg, do my eyes deceive me? Ace live and in the flesh. I miss you in the community you've built. Joining late and playing catch-up. Looking forward to the live in the offseason. Let's go Devils. Thanks a lot, Alexander. It's been a long month off of just watching playoff hockey and crying into my rally towel because the Devils have been out for so long. But in a few weeks, the news cycle is going to pick up with more than just clickbaity kind of crap as we approach the draft and free agency. Even though I don't expect the Devils to do anything earth-shattering, it's always a great time of the year. The gated shift. I'm a South Florida resident, and I admire the Panthers. Watching them regularly makes me want the Devils to get there that much more. Of course. The Panthers are the gold standard, guys. The model franchise in the league today, and it all started with their GM Zito making a splashy acquisition and bringing in Matthew Tkachuk, literally transforming the fortune of an entire organization. It is unbelievable. Phil, I have hope in Cam Squires. Yeah, very promising young guy. He looked really good in the rookie tournament last year. He did really well, but I do think he'll probably be in Utica. But I think he's only like 19, super young. Squires needs a year in the AHL. Same with LeChance, most likely. Phil says need some snipers. Max, I think we need to get McDermott off the books too. That empties $2.5 million, I believe. I think he got paid. I thought he was like 1.2. I love McDermott, but I mean, my God, Keefe hates him. Keefe absolutely hates him. Vince March, what's going on? Ace, what up? Yo, Holmes, what's going on? What's up, Ace? The future is bright. Oh yeah, put your shades on. Put your shades on. The future is so bright. Guys. Jay Snow, you're exactly right, Ace. 22-23 was supposed to be the jumping off point. We haven't made any progress. And that is my biggest gripe. That should have been the turnaround where we keep pushing every year and we just keep punting seasons away. You're going to get me fired up, Snow. You're going to get me fired up. I'm trying to stay somewhat positive here. Stephen Engel says Hughes' dad is their agent. It's going to be close to what I said, between 8 and 9 for 8 years. That's exactly what I expect now. Jay Snow, I would let Glass walk for almost $3 million. I don't know if he's worth it. I don't think he is either. I think the money's better spent elsewhere. Glass is a 4 seed. It's too much money. What's going on, Ari? Ace feels like we got eliminated a year ago. I know. LJ, I'm late. Did we already laugh at the Canes 1-16 Eastern Conference Finals record? Kidding, but something to say about Canes and Leafs' inability to get over the hump year after year, no matter who the opponent. Yeah, LJ, we did. We we did drink our fair share of haterade and talk smack on the Canes. And yeah, that 1-16 is just crazy. It's really, I don't even know how that is the reality, but it is what it is. They get to the conference finals and get smashed. And as far as Toronto goes, I just think that core was never going to get it done. And for all the people that used to blame Keefe, including probably the Toronto media and their fans, Keefe wasn't the issue. That core is broken. And imagine they go out and get a guy like Bennett or Marchand in free agency. My God. I think if I was the Maple Leafs, that's exactly what I'd be looking to do. I wouldn't pay Marner the money he wants. I'd let Marner leave, and I look to bring in someone with a little more nastiness. Interesting to see what happens with Tavares there as well. Going to be a very interesting offseason in Toronto. Samuel, we need a real top six winger so our guys who played up can go back to the third or fourth line. Yeah. Shift guys down to where they belong and don't have them taking on responsibilities that they're not really meant to have. But that obviously requires getting a top six winger. And the $1 million question is, where is the money coming from? Where is it coming from? Brandon, hello, Devils fans. I hope you're all well. Cup playoffs haven't been the same since the Jets and the whiteout left us. Remember that? Yes, let us remember. Oh, Brandon was the travel agent. Samuel says, get Fitz to bring us the New Jersey Panthers. What do you think about Ehlers? I worry about his size. I'm a pass on him. I'm a pass. Michael, I think our prospect Nathan Legary could have a shot at the fourth line. I thought he showed some hustle in the cup. I think he only played 2 games last year. And he was one of the guys, called up from Utica. We called up a ton of guys, and no one ever really stuck. It was like a couple games here, 1 game for this guy. Legary, Foote, a bunch of guys that just came up, played a game or 2, and then kind of got shuffled out. I liked what Legary brought. I do vaguely remember Sheldon Keefe praising him in a post-game media, press conference. But who knows? Maybe he's another guy that looks to crack the lineup. Pro Bolt, sup guys? Chowski, what's good, Ace? What's going on, Chowski? Jay Snow, if only bottom 6 guys, who's playing wing on top line? I can't watch Palat there again. I mean, it's tough. Do they try Mercer again? I mean, at some point, someone's going to have to seize the opportunity. If there's no legitimate guy brought in, which, again, I don't expect, we'll probably see a bunch of guys rotated in and given a chance and see if someone could kind of claim it. Metalhander says Matthew has single-handedly changed the league. Love the Tkachuk brothers. Love the Tkachuk brothers. Max, what are your thoughts on Jack as a center moving forward? I think he wants to play center. And I think he probably would get killed on the wing. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I think you got to keep him at center. Would I be absolutely against him on a wing? No. But I think that's going to open him up to taking some more bumps and bruises, which we don't want to see. Hopefully, he could be healthy next season and get a full summer next year of training and bulk up a little bit. We've all been clamoring for that. But I think you're going to see him at center for a while. Brandon, Ace, when does the off-season Jersey restaurant tour start? I got some things in the works with that. Hopefully soon. I'm not going to just do completely random food stuff. So there is going to be a kind of Devils tie-in, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. Hopefully soon. But I'm always working on, like, I literally have grand ideas and plans, and some of them come together, some don't, but I have like pages and pages of concepts of videos, and hopefully a bunch of them will make it out this summer. Jay Snow, watching Florida punch their ticket last night takes me back to when the Devils were that team with a bunch of dogs. Yeah. Going down memory lane when the Devils used to be a winning group with tenacity all over the lineup. It's crazy. True Patriot, what's going on? What's up, Ace? How are things? Oh, we're just hanging out. Resting Guitar Face. I like the Hurricanes play style. I think it's really effective, but I heard people say it's that style that kills them in the Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals don't make the mistakes other teams do. Thoughts? I've kind of heard that sentiment as well, and I'm going to call BS. I just think they run into better teams. And I will say part of it is that Brind'Amour is such a good coach. He gets them further than they belong. Like, this was supposed to be a down year for the Canes. A lot of people thought they might miss the playoffs or just get in. And I think it's a testament to Brind'Amour and his system. I mean, they lost a ton of guys, and they still had a pretty good regular season, and they won 2 rounds. It is a low event, kind of boring-ish style that's not going to be super exciting. They like to play low-scoring games. But I just think they have run into, deeper, better teams in the conference finals. And I don't know if it's necessarily an indictment on their style. Like I said, as much as it is, they're just running into better teams. I mean, the Panthers guys are I'm calling the Panthers a dynasty. 3 cup finals in a row, regardless whether they win or lose this year, that is a dynasty. And if they win, it cements it to me. Going back to back in 3 trips in a row, dynasty. Brendan, not enough grit and toughness on this team. Our best players are all too frail, and there's one nasty enough to do the dirty work on this team. We aren't going anywhere until Tom Fitzgerald addresses this. I've been saying this for years. Couldn't agree more. Oh, my God, you guys are typing so much. Brandon, are there any nice lakes in New Jersey? Do people in Jersey say I'm going to the lake or I'm going to the ocean? Well, I mean, they're 2 different bodies of water, Brandon. Lake is a lake and ocean's an ocean. There are lakes in New Jersey. A good amount of them. I'm not really a lake guy. I'm definitely an ocean guy. But I guess the terminology in New Jersey, for the most part, people would say I'm either going down the shore or going to the beach. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say I'm going to the ocean. If someone said that to me, I'd probably look at them like they had 7 heads. Ritter Engine, what's going on? Brandon, remember I was coming to Jersey if the Devils were still playing. Now I'm not coming until December. Tianon, Ace, what's your opinion if we had the cap on Jonathan Marchessault on the Devils? I was hoping we were going to be in on him last summer, but what did he eventually sign for? I forget. Tax-free state. 5.5. Yeah, again, but the bar is so low, guys. Like almost any player people are naming is an upgrade for this team. Now, is he the ideal piece? I don't know. But, yeah, Marchessault at 5.5, obviously, would love to have him. But there's a ton of guys. True Patriot, Ace, do we make good on a very early season wager we discussed in here? I offered a steak dinner on me if they won 4 in a row. Never happened, but lost 4 in a row 2 times. Peter Luger's on you. I'd never made this bet, True Patriot. Nice try, though. LJ, I honestly think you get 4 or 5 bottom 6 players with size, grit when available, and that's it. Quinn is coming at some point. Got to run it back with Nico, Timo, Bratt, Jack. It's all about quality depth. Yeah, they got to be the right bottom 6 guys, though. Got to be the right guys. Michael S., if you have missed these Devils chats, smash the like. Appreciate that. Thank you. Jay Snow, we need another guy like Timo who's built to play heavy. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Yo, Holmes and NJ, we go to the shore. I agree. Jersey Shore. Yup, down the shore. True Patriot Ace, thoughts of Gritsuk? I've seen some highlights. I'm always very skittish, as I've mentioned, on the KHL guys coming over from Russia. Will the game translate? What is their ramp up process going to look like and all that? I think he's definitely going to start off on the bottom 6. And because of the holes on the team, I think there is a chance you see him play his way onto the top 6. I mean, what a story that would be. That would be an absolute story. We'll see how it looks in camp and preseason, but I'm rooting for the guy to just light it up, obviously. Magus, any trading news regarding Nemitz, Kutch, or Siegs? Nothing. There's very little news. Gracie Carthy Jackson. Yo, I'm #1 Jesper Bratt fan. Very nice. I'm a big Bratter fan as well. Love me some Jesper Bratt. Max, I heard a report about Tuck being available. Always been a big fan. Big body, can play heavy, and is defensively responsible. Probably would require showing Palat or Dougie the door, though. I would love Tuck. Would love Tuck. Absolutely. Huge guy, does a little bit of everything, has a little bit of a mean streak. He took on Dylan in that in a nice scrap in the Global Series. I would love to see Tuck here. Jason says, Tuck is a stud. I'd trade Casey Mercer picks. I would too. I think he'd be a great fit. Samuel, I remember when the Panthers totally sucked and lower bowl tickets were $25. How is it we still suck and they go for the cup 3 years in a row? Who is running this train wreck? True Patriot says we should not trade Nemo at all. Kid really stepped up in the playoffs for us. Yeah, I like Nemitz. All right, guys, that's it. I got stuff to do. This has been fun. If you're not already doing so, I just got to do a couple shameless plugs here. If you are not already doing so, I'm going to start doing some new stuff. New stuff this summer, off season. So follow your boy on Instagram if you are not. I just dropped the link in the chat. Follow me on the X, even though the X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is painful for me sometimes because some of the things that people say on X are absolutely painful. But follow me on all this shit, guys. I just dropped all the links in the chat. Help me out here. We're trying to build something. I dropped the Instagram link in there, X, the Facebook. A lot of people make fun of me and call me an old head because kids don't use the Facebook anymore, but I think a lot of people do. Zito, legend. Absolute legend. Wow, Travel, and they gave you a hot dog with that $25 ticket too? Shit. Michael, Vic, what's going on? What's going on? Gracie says, he sure best cap ever. I don't know about that, but I love Nico. Vic, didn't know a live was going on. What's up, Devs fam? Yeah, it was an impromptu. We got eliminated 1 month ago, so I figured it's been a long time. Let me keep the tools sharp because I'll forget how to hook up all the equipment and do all this shit if I wait too long. It's been a month. And there's for the longtime fans, Jay Pandolfo interview premiering Sunday. I just dropped that link in the description as well. And yeah, guys, I'm working on a ton of stuff for the summer, so we'll see. I'll be back probably pretty soon with another live. I'm going to try to do them slightly more regularly, but like I said, that last month was just me and Morning. Not a lot of devil stuff to talk about. I did put out some videos. If you haven't seen those, check them out on the channel. There's some interesting stuff there, but I will be back soon with something or another, even if it's just a completely random live like this. I will probably try to schedule them better. This one just kind of came to me when I was on my computer. I was like, let me just do a live. I haven't talked to everybody in a minute, so appreciate all of you that made it out. Appreciate the ongoing support. As always, this has been a fun kind of ride. Yeah, we got such a long time before the season. It's going to suck. It really sucks. Just another long, dreaded off season. True Patriot. Yeah, I'm going to be doing lives more regularly going forward and putting out some special features. I'm very excited about the special features. I'm working on some stuff that I think you guys will like. Special features department. The special projects at Running with the Devils department has been working overtime, trying to line up some really cool stuff. All right, but that's it, guys. It's my time to go take care of stuff I got to take care of. But thank you all for coming out. And like I said, the continued support. We have a nice little community here. I enjoy talking to all of you. And I'll be back soon with some videos, some lives, and all that stuff. Hoping the Oilers get it done tonight and set the table for that rematch. What a Stanley Cup final it's going to be. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.